What's going on YouTube? Cap24 coming back with a new play out of the gun spread Y slot formation scheme that we're going to be doing all week out of the New England Patriots playbook. Today's play is going to be called PA wide receiver in, and I really like this play because of its versatility of running the same route combination but giving a lot of different looks because of the way we're going to motion, and we're going to show a little bit of a variable player that you can kind of at least give a different type of initial look to your defense in order to kind of disguise what you want to do. So let's go take a look at it. So for this first example, we're going to go on the right hash mark. We'll go against cover 3. Now the first thing you can do is, if you look at this, the 3 routes that we're always going to do is we're going to put the Y on a streak, we're going to put the X on an in, and we're going to smart route the B receiver. As you can see, we got that really nice S route that's very similar to the halfback dig out when it comes to the gun bunch week in the West Coast playbook. And we're going to utilize that to our best advantage. Now this A route is definitely going to be your free route, okay? Now on the right hash mark, you can do a couple different things. The first thing you can do is, I like to drag him, and that's just going to kind of get a little bit of a mesh concept to really get your opponent having to look left and right and whatnot. So what you'll see here is you can do that. Cut off the play action, A is going to get underneath, X is going to come across, and now you're just waiting for this B to get open, and he's going to be open in the middle of the field. If the player decides to stay back on that player, then you're going to take one of the underneath routes. Real simple route combination you see a lot in gun bunch, but it's really nice that we have it in this formation. Now the next thing you can do, same thing, Y on a streak, X on an in, and put the B on a smart route. Now with this A receiver, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a little bit different way of running it, where I'm going to do the same exact route combination with the drag, but this time I'm going to motion the B receiver to the left, and you're going to see that they're going to swap spots. See how they stack up there? It's going to give you a little bit of a different look, okay? It's not really going to change anything with the play. It's just going to let you run this play a little bit differently, so now they're expecting something different because we've kind of changed it up. You're going to see it's not going to change anything here. The guy's going to get underneath. We can throw it to the X, or go ahead and throw it to this B receiver and get ourselves some really nice yards down the field. Now, the next thing we can do, and I prefer this on the left hash mark, and that is where we go ahead and we max protect, okay? So what we do here is, in case you're not having success with being able just to block your normal lineman and your running back, we want to get this A involved. So all we got to do is do the same thing where we put the Y on a streak, the X on an in, and smart route the B. Now we're going to take this A and put him on any route whatsoever. We just want to get him off that auto motion. So I'll put him on a streak. Then we're going to motion him to the right, not the left, guys, the right. And he is going to go left, okay? And what you're going to see here is it goes left. Now we're going to max protect. You could max protect earlier and you'll still do the same thing. Now you've got an extra blocker running the same exact route combination. And you're going to see here that the X goes underneath. You're going to wait for that B to come across. And you're going to be able to throw that ball to that player and get down. Now you can definitely wait a little bit longer. I prefer to wait longer when it's max protect to where the guy actually goes to the left side of the field, because you're going to have a little bit more blocking. And you're going to have the ability to go ahead and wait until it gets over there. That's going to be really tough for a user to go and cover all the way from basically the right numbers all the way to the left numbers. So here we go again. Hike the ball, cut off the play action. Now you have all the time in the world. You wait for this B to go across. Now you're going to throw that ball over there and see how I kind of throw it to the numbers. So it's just really tough for a user to do that. If they get a beat on this, you can always use a fake playmaker in order to get their attention. And what I mean by that is basically go ahead and take this X receiver and you're going to playmaker him up with no intentions of throwing it to him unless they leave him wide open. So what I'm going to do here is same thing. X comes across. Now I'm going to playmaker him up. They're going to look at him, and once they look at him, now we're going to throw it to this player and get our yards that way. It just puts a little bit of a hesitation into your user player to allow him to free up the other player. So those are definitely some ways I like to run this as well. Now let's go back to the right hash mark. I know I'm going all over the place, but I want to make sure that you see everything that you can when it comes to this type of setup. What we're going to do here is we're now going to put the A on an out pattern, okay? And what we're going to do is the same thing with the other 2 receivers. So this way you don't change anything, right? Now we're going to put them in out pattern. And what that out pattern does, it actually gets underneath the S route. because of the way that the B goes to the inside. So if they're playing cloud flats, it's going to be a nice easy read to the right-hand side, especially if they're sending heat. So we'll go ahead and keep this here. He goes to the side, and we're going to be able to throw that ball to him for the easy 5 yards. Now, I do tend to throw it early, and I will pass lead it down in order to make sure that I throw it away from that player. But you should have some good success with doing that, right? Because of the way of the ability of that S route, especially when we go ahead and smart route him. This time I'm going to low pass it to him, and you're going to be able to throw it to him and get your 5 yards. It's just a nice way of keeping that cloud flat off of you for easy yards. And that's something that if you continue to take that, they're going to kind of get lulled that you're not going to go to the B receiver, and you're going to have success that way. Now, the last thing I want to show you when it comes to running this is putting this A on a fade. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing in the left too. And I actually like to keep the route the same and not to smart route the B when I do the fade option because of the way it gets to that side. If you can see it here, the A is going to take that cornerback to the right. And you still got the Y taking the free safety to the left, leaving the X underneath the drag. And I like to throw this ball almost as he breaks on the B when he's on the deeper route. Let me show you here. So you can see here the A is going to take that player route. And you can see as soon as he goes there, I like to highball this to that player, okay? Now, only reason why I highballed it on that play in particular is because I didn't get my throwing angle. So if you don't get a throwing angle, make sure you highball it, okay? And the reason for that is because you need to get it over those linebackers' heads. But if you get a throwing angle, you don't need to do the high ball. You just got to make sure that you get that. So let's try it again here. Cut off the play action. You can see that the A goes to the outside. B right there. Now I'm going to throw that ball to him much closer to his break. So when people are expecting that post and to get it in the middle of the field, what you're going to see is that we're going to throw it earlier, and I'll show it to you on instant replay. So typically speaking, we've been throwing this post more to the inside of the hash marks, right? We're going to kind of throw it to the middle of the field. But with this setup, you're going to see that the user's got to stay there. He's waiting for that post to come, and we're going to throw it to him. See how I threw it on his break on the numbers? And I threw it over the guy's head, and you're going to have some great success there by putting that guy on the fade. Now, this is something I like on the right hash mark. Now, this is not only a cover 3 beater. It can be cover 2. It can be pretty much any coverage because of the way the route combination is. You've seen this several times when it comes to gun bunch, that this route combination is what the meta is for Madden 18. And we're going to show it to you in different types of formations that we can that has this special route. So here against cover 2, we're going to do the same thing. Make sure they put the Y on the streak, X on it in. And again, with the A, you can do whatever you want with him. Typically speaking, if it's something that I'm trying to know that it's going against cover 2, I'll go with the fade. And what you'll see here again is that you got the X underneath. You can throw it to him all day long. Get yourself some good yards. Get up the field, right? That's your first read. So let's go ahead and show you cover 2 again. This time we're going to show it to you throwing it to the player that's going over the middle here. And let's see if I can get the guy there. I can't get him there, so let's put the other linebacker in the middle. There we go. Let's get this guy. And we'll put him, let's get this guy here. Let's get this X and put him on a vertical hook just so that he goes ahead and covers the right side of the field, right? Because that's typically what you're going to see, right? So we'll see this again. You're going to put this A on a fade. And then the X on the in, Y on the streak. We got to go ahead here. You're going to look at this X, know that he's there. But now you're going to wait for this B. You're going to low ball pass it. And you're going to be able to throw it underneath the deep blue. Now, that was with the fade. Now, I'll show you without the fade. Maybe you didn't know it was cover 2. And we're going to do the same thing here where we make sure we put this guy on a vertical hook just to kind of show you that he's going to be covering the middle to the right side of the field. And just get this guy back over here. This is going to be where you don't have the fade on the field. Maybe we're just going to put him on a drag like our original setup was, right? And you put the Y on the streak, X on in. Here we go. And we're going to hike the ball. And then the A goes underneath, X goes across. Now you're waiting for this B. You're going to low ball pass it to him. And you're going to have that ability to catch that ball in the same spot that you would in any one of these post-drag streak concept. So that's why I really like this play, because it has a lot of different flexibility. You can do the same thing against cover 2 where you take this tight end and see if you on the right hand side, if you motion him to the right, he'll definitely go there. But I like it better because on the left hand side, because of the way the splits are, but I'll show it to you real quick. You can do the same thing on the right side here. And just because of the way that the guy comes from so far wide, I feel like it's just better from the left hash mark. But typically, you can make these work from either or just different angles you're going to be throwing it to. So the X is going to be that first player. Now he's going to come across. And now you can see you're going to be able to throw that ball to that same player there. The only difference is when you run it from the right hash mark is you're going to get a little bit more play from this cornerback. As you can see here, he goes up. There's really no routes over here if you didn't do it. See how he made a play on it a little bit more? That's why we were able to kind of protect ourselves with that low pass and went down with the possession catch. But that is something you have to worry about on the right hash that you don't have to worry about on the left hash. So that's really why I like this play, guys. It's just because it's got a lot of versatility. You're going to use this really well when it comes to disguising it and being able to get it in there, because you've got different ways to run it, different formations, different styles to run it. But it's definitely something you can definitely put in there. My favorite one, just because I like protection. If you guys have ever seen my videos before, I always like to make sure that we've got enough to block first, is to basically put the A, motion him to the right, make sure that I can block it first, and then doing this route combination, just because of the fact that it's such a hard combination to stop, and you've seen that over and over again in Gun Bunch, that having the extra protection definitely helps you out when it comes to this, and really be able to get the players hit the X or wait for the B to come across and have yourself some really nice success with it. I want to say thank you for everybody that has watched this video all the way to the end. We do appreciate your support. If you got something useful out of this video, go ahead and hit that like button. It does really help us grow our channel. If you're new to our channel and haven't seen one of the videos that are on your screen right now, go ahead and check it out for some great Madden content, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button.